Chapter 9. How to use the power of your subconscious mind for wealth. If you are having financial difficulties or you're trying to make ends meet, it means you have not convinced your subconscious mind that you will always have plenty and abundance, and this can lead to despair. You may know men and women who work only a few hours a week and make fabulous sums of money. They do not strive or slave hard. Do not believe the story that the only way you can become wealthy is by the sweat of your brow and hard labor. It is not so. The effortless way of life is the best. Do the thing you love to do and do it for the joy and thrill of it. I know an executive in Los Angeles who receives a salary of $75,000 yearly. Last year, he went on a 9-month cruise, seeing the world and its beauty spots. He said to me that he had succeeded in convincing his subconscious mind that he is worth that much money. He told me that many men in his organization, earning about $100 a week, knew more about the business than he did and could manage it better, but they had no ambition, no creative ideas, and were not interested in the wonders of their subconscious mind. Wealth is of the mind. Wealth is simply a subconscious conviction on the part of the individual. You will not become a millionaire by saying, "I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire." You will grow into a wealth consciousness by building into your mentality the idea of wealth and abundance. The trouble with most people is that they have no invisible means of support. When business falters, the stock market drops, or they lose their investments, they seem helpless. The reason for such insecurity is that they do not know how to tap into the subconscious mind. They are unacquainted with the inexhaustible storehouse within. A man with a poverty-type mind finds himself in poverty-stricken conditions. Another man with a mind filled with ideas of wealth is surrounded with everything he needs. It was never intended that man should lead a life of indigence. You can have wealth, everything you need, and plenty to spare. Your words have the power to cleanse your mind of wrong ideas and to instill the right ideas in their place. The ideal method for building wealth consciousness. Perhaps you are saying, as you read this chapter, "I need wealth and success." Here's what you do. Repeat to yourself, for about 5 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day, wealth, success. These words have tremendous power. They represent the inner power of the subconscious mind. Anchor your mind on this substantial power within you, and then conditions and circumstances corresponding to their nature and quality will manifest in your life. You are not saying, "I am wealthy." Instead, you are dwelling on real powers within you. There is no conflict in the mind when you say wealth. Furthermore, the feeling of wealth will well up within you as you dwell on the idea of wealth. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. Your subconscious mind is like a bag, a universal financial institution. It magnifies whatever you deposit or impress upon it, whether it is the idea of wealth or poverty. Choose wealth. Why affirmations for wealth fail? I've talked to many people over the past 35 years whose usual complaint is, "I've said for weeks and weeks, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, and nothing has happened." I discovered that when they said, "I am prosperous, I am wealthy," they felt deep down that they were lying to themselves. One man told me, "I have affirmed that I am prosperous until I'm tired, and now things are worse." He knew when he made the statement that it was obviously not true. His statements were rejected by the conscious mind, and the opposite of what he outwardly affirmed was manifested. Your affirmation succeeds best when it is specific and does not produce a mental conflict or argument. Hence, the statements made by this man worsened his condition because they suggested his lack. Your subconscious accepts what you truly feel to be true, not idle words or statements. The dominant idea or belief is always accepted by the subconscious mind. How to avoid mental conflict? Here is the ideal way to overcome this conflict for those who have difficulty. Make this practical statement frequently, particularly before sleep. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all my interests. This affirmation will not arouse any argument, because it does not contradict your subconscious mind's impression of financial lack. I suggested to a businessman whose sales and finances were low, and who was greatly worried, that he sit down in his office, become quiet, and repeat this statement over and over again. My sales are improving every day. The statement engaged the cooperation of the conscious and subconscious mind, and results followed. Don't sign blank checks. You sign blank checks when you make such statements as, there's not enough to go around, or there's a shortage, or I will lose the house because of the mortgage. If you are full of fear about the future, you are also writing a blank check and attracting negative conditions to yourself. Your subconscious mind takes your fear and negative statements as your request and proceeds in its own way to bring obstacles, delays, lack, and limitation into your life. Your subconscious gives you compound interest. To him that hath the feeling of wealth, more wealth shall be added. To him that hath the feeling of lack, more lack shall be added. Your subconscious multiplies and magnifies whatever you deposit in it. Every morning, as you awaken, deposit thoughts of prosperity, success, wealth, and peace. Dwell upon these concepts. Keep your mind busy with them as often as possible. These constructive thoughts will find their way as deposits in your subconscious mind and bring forth abundance and prosperity. Why nothing happened? You may say, I did that and nothing happened. You did not get results because you indulged in fear thoughts, perhaps 10 minutes later, and neutralized the good you had affirmed. When you place a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up. You let it take root and grow. For example, if you start to say, I shall not be able to make that payment, stop mid-sentence and dwell on a constructive statement like, by day and by night, I am prospered in all my ways. True source of wealth. Your subconscious mind is never short of ideas. There are within it an infinite number of ideas, ready to flow into your conscious mind and appear as cash in your pocketbook in countless ways. This process will continue regardless of whether the stock market goes up or down, or the dollar drops in value. Your wealth is never truly dependent on bonds, stocks, or money in the bank. These are merely symbols. Wealth is always circulating in your life, regardless of the form it takes. Trying to make ends meet and the real cause. Some people claim they are always trying to make ends meet. They seem to struggle to meet their obligations. Have you ever listened to their conversations? Often, their conversation runs along this vein. They are constantly condemning those who have succeeded in life. They say things like, oh, that fellow has a racket, or he's ruthless, or he's a crook. This is why they lack. They are condemning the very thing they desire. A common stumbling block to wealth. There is one emotion that causes a lack of wealth in the lives of many: envy. If you see a competitor depositing large sums of money in the bank, and you have only a meager amount, does it make you envious? The way to overcome this is to say to yourself, isn't it wonderful? I rejoice in that man's prosperity. I wish him greater and greater wealth. Rubbing out a great mental block to wealth. If you're worried about someone who you claim is making money dishonestly, cease worrying about him. Such a person is using the law of mind negatively, and the law will take care of him. Be careful not to criticize, for the reasons previously mentioned. Remember, the block to wealth is in your own mind. You can now destroy that block by getting on good mental terms with everyone. Sleep and grow rich. As you go to sleep at night, practice the following technique. Repeat the word wealth quietly, easily, and feelingly. Do this over and over again, just like a lullaby. Lull yourself to sleep with the word wealth, and you will be amazed at the result. Wealth will flow to you in avalanches of abundance. This is another example of the magic power of your subconscious mind. Serve yourself with the powers of your mind. 1. Decide to be wealthy the easy way, with the infallible aid of your subconscious mind. 2. Trying to accumulate wealth by the sweat of your brow is one way. To become the richest man in the graveyard, you do not have to strive or slave hard. 3. Wealth is a subconscious conviction. Build into your mentality the idea of wealth. 4. The trouble with most people is that they have no invisible means of support. 5. Repeat the word wealth to yourself slowly and quietly for about 5 minutes prior to sleep, and your subconscious will bring wealth into your experience. 6. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. 7. Your conscious and subconscious minds must agree. Your subconscious accepts what you truly feel to be true. 8. Overcome any mental conflict regarding wealth by affirming frequently, by day and by night, I am being prospered in all my interests. 9. Increase your sales. By repeating this statement, my sales are improving every day. I am advancing, progressing, and getting wealthier every day. 10. Stop writing blank checks such as, there is not enough to go around, or there is a shortage. Such statements magnify and multiply your loss. 11. Deposit thoughts of prosperity, wealth, and success in your subconscious mind, and the latter will give you compound interest. 12. What you consciously affirm, you must not mentally deny a few moments later. This will neutralize the good you have affirmed. 13. Your true source of wealth consists of the ideas in your mind. You can have an idea worth millions of dollars. Your subconscious will give you the idea you seek. 14. Envy and jealousy are stumbling blocks to the flow of wealth. Rejoice in the wealth of others. 15. The block to wealth is in your own mind. Destroy that block now by getting on good mental terms with everyone. Chapter 10. Your right to be rich. It is your right to be rich. You are here to lead an abundant life and be happy, radiant, and free. You should have all the money you need to live a full, happy, and prosperous life. You're here to grow, expand, and unfold spiritually, mentally, and materially. You have the inalienable right to fully develop and express yourself in all areas. You should surround yourself with beauty and luxury. Why be satisfied with just enough when you can enjoy the riches of your subconscious mind? In this chapter, you will learn to make friends with money and understand that you should always have a surplus. Your desire to be rich is a desire for a fuller, happier, more wonderful life. It is a cosmic urge. It is not only good but very good. Money is a symbol of exchange. It means not only freedom from want but also beauty, luxury, abundance, and refinement. It is a symbol of the economic health of a nation. When blood circulates freely in your body, you are healthy. Likewise, when money circulates freely in your life, you are economically healthy. When people hoard money, put it away in tin boxes, and become filled with fear, there is economic illness. Money has taken many forms as a medium of exchange throughout the centuries, such as salt, beads, and trinkets. In early times, wealth was determined by the number of sheep or oxen a person had. Now, we use currency and other negotiable instruments. It is much more convenient to write a check than to carry sheep around to pay bills. How to walk the royal road to riches. Knowledge of the powers of your subconscious mind is the key to the royal road to riches of all kinds, spiritual, mental, or financial. The student of the laws of the mind believes and knows that, regardless of economic situations, stock market fluctuations, depressions, strikes, wars, or other conditions, they will always be supplied with what they need. This is because they have conveyed the idea of wealth to their subconscious mind, which keeps them supplied wherever they may be. They have convinced themselves that money flows freely in their life, and that there is always a wonderful surplus, even in the event of a financial collapse, such as when the German mark became valueless after World War I. A person who understands this law will still attract wealth, regardless of the form the new currency takes. Why you do not have more money? As you read this chapter, you might say, I'm worthy of a higher salary than I'm receiving. Most people are inadequately compensated. One reason for this is that many silently or openly condemn money, referring to it as filthy lucre, or believing that the love of money is the root of all evil. Others may have a sneaky subconscious feeling that there is some virtue in poverty, often stemming from early childhood training, superstitions, or false interpretations of scriptures. Money and a balanced life. A man once said to me, I am broke. I do not like money. It is the root of all evil. These statements reflect a confused, neurotic mind. Love of money to the exclusion of everything else causes imbalance. You are here to lead a balanced life, which includes using your power wisely. Some crave power, Others crave money. If you focus solely on amassing money, you can indeed get rich, but you might forget that true success includes peace of mind, love, joy, and health. By understanding the laws of your subconscious mind, you can attain wealth and still maintain balance and harmony in your life. Poverty is a mental disease. There is no virtue in poverty. It is a mental disease, just like any other. If you are physically ill, you seek help. Likewise, if money isn't circulating in your life, there is something wrong. The urge of life is toward growth, expansion, and abundance. You are not here to live in poverty, wear rags, or go hungry. You are here to be prosperous and successful. Never criticize money. Cleanse your mind of superstitious beliefs about money. Never regard it as evil or filthy. If you do, it will flee from you. Remember, you cannot attract what you criticize. Getting the right attitude toward money. To attract money, use this affirmation several times a day. I like money. I love it. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life. I release it with joy, and it returns to me multiplied in wonderful ways. How the scientific thinker looks at money. Gold, silver, lead, copper, or iron are not evil. All evil comes from ignorance, false interpretations of life, or the misuse of the subconscious mind. Physicists and chemists know that the only difference between metals is the number and motion of their electrons. Through science, we can even change one metal into another. Money, like any other element, is neutral. It's how we use it that matters. How to attract the money you need. Many years ago, I met a young boy in Australia who wanted to become a doctor but had no money. I explained to him how a seed planted in the soil attracts everything necessary for its growth. I told him to plant the idea of being a doctor in his subconscious mind, and it would attract the means to achieve his goal. He imagined a medical diploma on the wall, with his name on it every night. Before he went to sleep, after 4 months, a doctor took a liking to him, employed him, and eventually paid for his medical school. Today, that boy is a prominent doctor in Montreal. Why some men do not get a raise in pay. If you silently resent being underpaid or feel unappreciated, you are subconsciously severing ties with your organization. Your negative thoughts will eventually manifest in your dismissal, as your subconscious mind responds to the thoughts you entertain. Obstacles and impediments on the pathway to riches. Have you heard men say, "That fellow has a racket. He's a crook"? Usually, people who speak this way are in want or suffering financially or physically. Their resentment of others' success blocks their own prosperity. They are praying for wealth, but their negative thoughts repel it. Protect your investments. If you are seeking wisdom about investments or are worried about your finances, claim this. Infinite intelligence governs all my financial transactions, and everything I do prospers. You cannot get something for nothing. Stores hire detectives to catch people trying to steal. Because such people live in an atmosphere of lack, they are stealing from themselves peace, harmony, and confidence by trying to get something for nothing. Understanding and applying the powers of the subconscious mind will bring them wealth and constant supply. Your constant supply of money. Recognizing the power of your subconscious mind is the way to opulence and constant supply. Accept abundance in your mind, and it will manifest in your life. Affirm daily. I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly. Steps to wealth. 1. Claim your right to be rich, and your subconscious will honor that claim. 2. Don't settle for just enough. Embrace the riches of your subconscious mind. 3. When money circulates freely, you are economically healthy. 4. Avoid condemning money, for what you condemn flies away. 5. Do not make money your sole aim. Aim for wealth, happiness, and peace, and radiate love and goodwill to all.